Hello and welcome to another video from the only source of information that you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And today we're going to do a little walk around tour of the property combined with some footage of Carlos out here working on straightening this mess out. Now I actually shot some video before Carlos ever came here of what this looked like untouched. In fact, I went ahead and I tied ribbons around all the trees I wanted cut down, and I walked through the woods taking video of that. But somehow I've lost all that footage, which is not uncommon. I lose footage all the time. But anyways, I do have footage of the woods while Carlos was here working. And so today we're going to take a look at what it looks like after Carlos burned up all those trees he cut down and after I went through with my lawnmower mowing things. So we'll look at how it looked before and compare that to how it looked afterwards. It's really cool. The power company came out and cut the grass under the power lines. And so a week later, my first volunteers arrived to help me clean up my forest. Let's go see what they're getting done. In preparation for their visit, I came out and cut down a few trees so we would have some dry stuff to start with. And you'll see some trees with brown leaves laying on the ground every now and then. But we didn't have any trouble getting a fire started, so we haven't even dragged these in there yet. Still looking nice from when the power company came out. But on top of that, I've come out with my mower because the power company does bush hogging, and my mower does a lot nicer job. Plus I was able to pick up all of the sticks, or most of the sticks, that were left from the bush hogging, because there were some larger bushes in here. But look how wide that is now, how open it is. Makes it a lot nicer in there. Oh yeah, that looks a lot more wide open nowadays than it did before. All these gaps between the trees here are going to allow me to put a few fruit trees out here. In fact, I've already got one in the ground. This grew from a seed, and I don't even know what it is, but I'm guessing it's a satsuma. Might be a lemon, who knows. But I could probably put 6 trees in here. And the reason that's important is because that's the southern sky, so these fruit trees need to have some direct sunlight part of the day. Oh my God! I told him don't worry about cutting the big trees, and apparently he's not concerned. Okay, the part where I said don't cut any of the big trees yet, were you like fudging the rules a little bit?
I just got excited.
Is that a grapevine holding up a 40-foot oak?
Probably.
Or is that even oak? Yeah, that's a water oak.
Well, this one's half rotted inside anyway, so.
Yeah, it got hit. There was like 6 trees here during Katrina, and 5 of them fell down, and each one of them hit that tree on the way down, and so it was really scarred up and really sick. That's why I put the ribbon on it. Here's my little trail. Now this was, on both sides of this was really thick in American Beauty berries, and I've kept a couple. I've kept this one and a few others that were pretty nice that didn't seem to be in the way, easy to mow around. But now you can see my little dried oak limbs that I keep here. This is a view I've been having in my videos, but now I've got a lot more areas where I can film. Oh, that big one? Oh, that. This is just so open, it's hard to believe. I mean, if you go back and look, I don't know that I have any videos from this angle, but this tree here, I could only really see it from about 100 feet away, and now I can see it all the way to the other edge of the property. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we kind of made a decision about this tree yesterday. You asked how old it was. I said probably about 300 years. And so we went down and looked at a 500-year-old oak that has been cored. And you pointed something out.
Your tree's much bigger.
Yeah.
Much bigger.
So if a cored tree is 500 years old and my tree is bigger than that tree.
And honestly, if you look what's going on around it, you got other trees growing up out here. That this tree would be laying on the ground too. The branches would if it had more room to space out.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the tree
the trees over here blocking, you got these trees back here.
Yeah, the tree that we looked at the other day, the live oak will put its limbs down on the ground and then go up again. It's like the ground supports the tree via the branches. And I only have like 3 branches that touch the ground. Here's one right here that I actually had to cut off. It touched the ground, but it was dead. In fact, I don't think I cut it off. I just broke it off. But the whole branch needs to be cut off. But see, it was coming down, and the branch was laying on the ground, and it had leaves a couple of years ago. But when I came back this year, there were no leaves on it. And it's dead all the way up to there. One of these days I'll bring a ladder out and I'll cut it off up there. I don't see any point in cutting it off down here where it can just be hanging in my face and I could bump into it.
And eventually over time these limbs like these over here will grow back down to the ground. That's where they're heading now.
Yeah, these are coming down.
And you will have to look like one does down in town there.
And we have, I think, 7 of these in a row. It's pretty cool. Maybe not 7. 1, 2, 3. They're not all this nice either. Some look like they're going to die soon. Some of them have already died. Some of them are not as big. That's a big tree, though.
Well, it's awesome to find it out here in the middle of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, no one knew this was here.
Right.
This area was primarily beautyberries, but it would take me forever to mow around all of those. So I cut them down. But I did leave these right here where this oak limb is touching the ground. See that oak? These oaks will lay limbs down, you know, as they get farther and farther out from the tree, they'll eventually touch the ground. And like Carlos was bringing out in the video, they won't do that in a forest because they reach for the sun. See, there's getting some sunlight here, so they go to the ground. Here's the other side. And there's that oak limb, which is still healthy. Sometimes they die after they hit the ground. Now, this beautyberry is really big, beautiful, healthy, but I do need to come in and prune all these dead limbs off the bottom. The limbs that don't get very much sunshine will die, and they'll eventually fall off. But it's nicer, and it makes a plant look better quickly to prune those off, and they actually do get healthier when you do that. You do realize today's our last day together, right?
Yeah.
So are you willing to stop working long enough to talk to me?
Well, of course.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can see this on the video, but it's been raining out here really hard and everything here is wet. So we've decided today's going to be an off day. We're not going to do much. I mean, there's not much we could do anyway. If we keep stacking this wet stuff, eventually we'll get too big of a stack to burn. And, you know,
There's a lot of heat in that. I think it'll dry it out, you know.
Oh, it ain't gonna take long. You know, I didn't burn all my trash. I got two buckets full of trash in the house. I'll bring that out here and throw it on top and put a few dry things on it and let it sit in the sun for a few days. This stuff will light right up. Yep. Hey, let's walk around and take a look at the whole property. I want to see what all was done. Let's go this way first. Now this is a beautyberry bush, and this is a time when they're really worth having. You know, a lot of the year they have no leaves, no berries, and they look really kind of just dead. And so you got to tolerate them well. I've cut down.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I know. They get kind of a pinkish color too at one point. But all of these are cut down beautyberries because I've got several hundred on my property, and it just makes it difficult for me to maintain because you can't just mow through it. You have to mow around every bush. So I'm just going to limit it to where I have a few bushes that I can just cut right past, and then on the next pass kind of clean it up, and I don't have to spend a lot of time on each bush. Yes, I cut down a lot of beautyberries.
Well, you know, birds are going to distribute seeds and stuff anyway, so you want to more coming up over time.
Oh, here's my really odd oak. I've never seen a live oak that doesn't branch out until you get way, way up. I don't know what caused that unless it was just really dense woods in here and it was reaching for the sun. Normally,
that's what it looks like, the plant reaching up for light.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Stand by the trunk. I want to get some video of, just to show it, compared to you how big this thing is. That's big. Live oak. This is probably a 500-year-old tree as well. Alright, let's finish the tour. There's a lot of stuff out here that's dry. I wasn't throwing it on the fire because I felt like I could use it later on. It's stuff that fell out of the trees on its own in the wind. Did you say that you counted these trees? How many were still left with ribbons on them?
About 50.
Yeah, so about 50 trees still have ribbons. And I think that I had tied ribbons around 250.
That's what we could see. So, then probably more than that. But if you look back to here, this is an area this is what I was heading towards, never even got to it.
Yep. So there's still plenty of work for anybody that wants to come down and volunteer, right?
Oh yeah, plenty of work. Keep you busy for at least a day or two.
Yeah, he was pretty rambunctious when he decided to do this. He said he was going to clear this whole forest in a day. And I think they worked at least 6 days over the course of a 24-hour period.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a good time doing it.
I'm kind of glad we had the rain because I know that we would have all ended up out here working and not got a chance to sit around talking. That was fun. Yeah, so anybody that's watching this, if you're interested in coming down and helping out with this, all you have to do is be willing to be on camera. I don't want you down here if you ain't willing to be on YouTube, because I'd like to spend some time getting to know you and videotaping it. And in fact, that's what me and Carlos are about to go do right now. There goes a squirrel running up a tree. Yeah. We got three bridges, and I think out here we've only got 2 wells because it was so far from the house. It's a lot of work.
See, I just discovered something new.
It's dead. I got to get new leathers for it. All of my wells, all of the pumps need new leathers. They won't pump water. There's usually...
In Columbus, there's a little park that's got these bridges, and they build little trails through the woods like this. Kind of reminds me a lot of it. Really unique out here.
Yeah, there's my house, if you can see it. I guess that's showing up in my video. That's kind of mushy through there. We don't hardly ever walk around over there because it's so mushy. This really is, I don't know that it would qualify as a swamp, but it is awful swampy. At least 50% of my property, you can't walk on it because it's mushy.
What I didn't realize from the video was when you've got all these trees out here, you start cutting them, you don't realize how tall they are. And they're so bushy at the top, so you've got to cut them 2 or 3 times just to get them to drop on the ground.
Oh yeah, they hold
themselves up.
Yeah, they're grabbing hold of one another. I've come out here and cut 3 trees down, and all 3 stayed standing, and I cut the trunks out of them, and they were just hanging there. And I had to grab them and swing on them and pull on them because they just hold each other.
Vine up there holding them and stuff.
Yep, a lot of work. And yeah, they are. Well, that's why this forest is not healthy, is because there's so much stuff. After they deforest an area, they may take down 50 trees that are really big. What comes up is 10,000 trees that are really little. And if nobody,
Take this spot like right here, just these right in here. It's 5 or 6 trees. You would not believe the light that's going to come back through here. Just cutting these out. And that's what amazed me when I started cutting them. I'm like, man, we're really opening this place up after like 10 trees, So.
Yeah, it's pretty dark under here. In the middle of the day, it's really, really dark. But honestly, if we cut down every single tree that's out here, it'll be like a lawn till spring, and by the end of summer, it'll be dark again. It may not be this dark, but it'll be dark again. See, that's all swamp right through there. I mean, you can't even walk on it, much less get out there and mow on it or trim any trees or anything.
But some swamps good like that to have. You're gonna have more wildlife and everything else around. Sit up at the house, you can hear the squirrels and stuff running around out here, and even when we were cutting, you could hear birds and stuff running around.
Well, you know what? Whenever when I started this before you came, I cut down probably 50 trees just so we would have something dry to start the fire with. And I was out here pulling all that stuff over to where we could work with it. And somewhere in here, my dog was going crazy. I think right here. Yeah, this is where he was. Let's see if there's... And I came by, and he was digging. And it doesn't look like he left me anything. But right here, yeah, you can see where he was digging. There were 2 deer tracks. And we never get deer tracks this deep into the woods. They always hang out under the power lines, and they'll come over a little bit into the woods, but they won't come far. And to get 2 tracks here was really exciting for me, because this is dead center of my property, so they made it pretty deep. And the dog was sniffing the ground really hard all the way over to the edge, the far edge. So these deer were out here doing stuff.
See, now you got me back in the mood to work again today. I'm ready to go cut.
No, we're not going to do that. It's been raining. There ain't no way to cut. And there's no way to burn the stuff. That's not going to happen. And plus, we just need to spend some time shooting some video and talking. My pile here, the whole pile burnt down, but there's a hump of dirt here where there was a big tree that fell over, and the root system pulled up all the dirt that was connected to it. And so it made this hump, and the hump is smoking now because all of those roots that are in there, ever since Katrina, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, this hump has just so many roots in it, and smoke is coming out of the edge over there.
Yeah, you got a nice little fire in the ground right now, and it'll keep burning and burning until it, burns a lot of them roots out.
Yeah, I suspect that this hump will actually shrink in size quite a bit. And we will get another fire going here in a couple of days, maybe a week. If you can see all the yellow ribbons on the trees, that's where Carla stopped cutting because they ran out of time. And here's my huge oak. You see how clean the ground looks now compared to what it looked like before. And there is my line. Now you might think this is a good angle for shooting video, and on today it would be because it's really, really cloudy. But normally the sun is in that direction, and you don't want the sun aiming into your camera because it messes things up. So if anybody decides to come down, this is the kind of stuff you'll be cutting down. We're not really doing any big trees. I've got some big trees out here marked, but only in case we have extra time or somebody comes down with a group of 3 and everybody knows how to use a chainsaw. But if just one person comes down to help me, we'll just be cutting these skinny trees down. Let's turn and look in the direction of the area that we have completed. Isn't that beautiful? And there's Carlos's tree. That's actually a huckleberry bush. That thing was standing up when I first got out here. I was able to get that fire burned down. In fact, it started on its own before Carlos left. And the next day I was able to come out here and throw what little bit was still on the ground into the fire. And so that's what we got left now. This is just from me picking up sticks. Every time the wind blows through here, a stick falls out of a tree somewhere. There's the old tent. That's where we store our lawnmowers now. Now, every video I've made lately has been a commercial for getting people to come help me. But I got to be honest with you, right now, that's not really possible. This time of year, usually, well, not usually, for probably at least 5 years straight now, every year, I get really groggy and I'm sleeping and waking up all day, and I can't break that cycle, which means I really don't have the energy to clean my house or cut my grass or anything. So every day I try to do a little bit of something, and hopefully I'll at least get the grass around my house cut. But I don't have the strength, or I just don't even feel good. So I really can't have company probably until spring. Usually really quick. As soon as spring gets here and things start leafing out, I feel a whole lot better. But every year, the first day we get where it's like in the 40s and it's raining, I get really, really sick. And then even if we have a warm, dry day after that, I don't feel any better. And I'm doing what I can to try to get over it. Every year I try a different experiment that's never worked before. Carlos has kind of talked me into trying CBD oil this year, so we'll see. If that helps, then I'll make a video saying, come on down. But until then, I'm just really, really out of it. And I probably ain't even going to be able to make videos because I get in there, just like editing this will take me 3 days because I can't concentrate enough to do it. So if you're one of those people that says you'd like to find out, what days are available to come here, just know that right now there are no days. And in fact, you may not even be getting any videos because I'm kind of running out of stuff. I've got a couple of scripts written, but it's difficult to haul all my junk out here, and my audio equipment and other things. And I just don't feel good enough to stand in front of a camera and do all that editing. But if I get to feeling a little bit better, I have a few days where I can concentrate, I will. But just know that things may come to a standstill for a little while. Oh well, if you don't want to survive, don't listen to me.